'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
I've heard worse.
You liar!
What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the charmingly churlish Dr. Disaster, and the cracks in the armor are growing and becoming more evident, folks, for as much as the powers that be want Ghost of Yotei to be seen as a massive success, there are clear signs that the game has struggled.
This shit's weak!
Last week there was this whole kerfuffle here where outlets like Push Square, the writers of this article, claimed that the supposed boycott, and I don't know if we can actually call it anything as formal as that, there were just a shitload of people who learned about Ghost of Yotei and individually decided that the game did not interest them, but whatever, will go along with the definition that they're giving it. But anyhow, they said that the supposed boycott failed, and that actually Ghost of Yotei sold great.
Congratulations on all your success. You smell terrific.
But, as we have talked about on this channel, the information that they're basing this on did not provide any hard sales data, just a nebulous claim from the folks at the analytics firm Circana that things were going swell for Ghost of Yotei, and that it had basically sold as well as Ghost of Tsushima. Meanwhile, another analytics firm, Alinea Analytics, actually did provide hard numbers, but almost nobody in the media is touting this information. In 3 weeks, Yotei sold 2.5 million units, but they don't want to brag about that because Ghost of Tsushima pushed out that volume in 3 days. Well, here is another truth that's going to be pretty damned hard to swallow for the defenders of this game, and it speaks to the massive drop-off in sales numbers that we have talked about for the past few weeks when it comes to this game. Ghost of Yotei is apparently already on sale. It's getting a discount on Amazon in the UK just a couple weeks after the game released. That is a pretty damn bad sign for a new game. Typically, you don't see sales for these titles for quite a while if they are doing well, but when a company is inundated with stock, they will do whatever they have to do in order to move product.
Take it. I don't want it. Take it. I don't want it.
Alright me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've had a lot of people tell me that they have been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel, so make sure you look into that, and also give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster1. And if you feel like supporting the channel and helping keep the lights on, consider becoming a member for as little as $5 per month. But in any case, let's take a peek at this sale for Ghost of Yotei, which is taking place in the UK. For full context though, let's look at what was being said about this game's sales numbers a few weeks ago in that country right after the game had come out. This article here is from the website VG Charts. The headline tells us that Ghost of Yotei's UK retail launch sales are nearly 3 times higher than Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 sales. Well, holy crap, that must mean it's the most successful thing ever, am I right? But this article here tells us that Ghost of Yotei had the biggest first-party launch in Europe for PlayStation since Spider-Man 2. Once again, that sure makes it sound impressive, doesn't it? And then here is the site WCCF Tech saying simply, Ghost of Yotei has strong debut in the United Kingdom. And if you read the actual article, they will tell you that the game debuted at #1 in the country. But there are 2 things to notice in all of these articles which suggest that this game has sold really well. The first thing to notice is that none of the information they provide is ever hard numbers. It's always just some nebulous comparison to other games, which doesn't tell us how well it is actually doing. This is a common tactic used by people in marketing to create the perception of success and acclaim. But the other thing that you will notice is that of all the games that they are comparing the sales of Ghost of Yotei to, there is one game in particular that they conspicuously seem to avoid at almost all costs, and it is likely the most obvious comparison that everyone would want to see. How is Yotei doing in comparison to Ghost of Tsushima? Well, with all of that other context firmly in mind, that game journalists were using the supposed success of Ghost of Yotei in the UK as a means of pushing their propaganda just a few weeks ago, now let's dive into this article here from the Manchester Evening News, which tells us all about this sale in the UK. I will be providing a link in the description of the video to this article. But anyhow, the article says here, it's been just over 2 weeks since Ghost of Yotei launched as the latest PlayStation 5 exclusive title, arriving as the anticipated sequel to 2020's Ghost of Tsushima, despite being generally lauded as another excellent game from critic reviews. The game is already starting to see discounts at some online retailers. PlayStation launched Ghost of Yotei at a price point of £70, which digital buyers are pretty much locked into paying. However, shoppers can already save a tenner on the MSRP of Ghost of Yotei if they head to Amazon. Instead of paying £70, the brand new PS5 exclusive game is now down to £60. It's only a 14% discount, but it makes a huge difference among a busy period of video game releases. Now, it's important to note that this article detailing this price reduction is immediately trying to spin this as a positive, trying to get people to see this as a massive opportunity to buy the game for cheap. It ultimately boils down to a sales pitch for the game, because of course that is what the media is always going to do for a game like Ghost of Yotei. They wrote here, the Amazon review section is brimming with write-ups from gamers who are enjoying the game immensely. Ghost of Yotei is an amazing game. Sucker Punch have created another masterpiece here. The visuals and sound are outstanding, and the gameplay is just as addictive as ever. There is lots to discover, and the game gives the player the freedom to explore, writes one happy PS5 player. But there is no getting around that seeing a discount on this game after only a few weeks on the market is a really bad place to be. If you look back at the headline of this article and look at the date that this was published, the article actually came out on October 18th, which is just a bit over 2 weeks after the game released. And now I ask you, why in the world would the world's largest retailer, Amazon, need a discount for a game that is supposedly selling like crazy, particularly in the UK, where scads of headlines were written about the game telling us that actually things are going great? Why would they have to do that? Now, for reference, and I know that the defenders of Ghost of Yotei really don't seem to like making the comparison between these two games unless it is with some sort of extremely nebulous claim, but if you look here, I googled when the first discount was available for Ghost of Tsushima, and the answer is not at all surprising. Google said the first major discount for Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation was during the Games of a Generation sale on September 30th, 2020. This was a significant discount for the base PS4 game, making it the first time the title was available at a reduced price. For full context, Ghost of Tsushima came out on July 17th in 2020, meaning that this discount didn't happen until the game had been released for 3.5 months. Now, I know that there are people out there who will say that the UK are not where this supposed boycott of this game was supposedly going to take place because the Charlie Kirk situation happened in the US, but if anything, that underscores my point that what happened with Yote wasn't really much of a boycott anyhow. It was a bunch of gamers who learned about reasons that we don't want to buy this game, so we didn't. A cloud of disinterest hovers over this game for a lot of people, in the same way that there was no organized formal boycott of Dragon Age the Veilguard. It was simply individuals rejecting that game. Well, considering the data that we have for this game, as we talked about yesterday, telling us that Yote took 3 weeks to sell what Tsushima sold in 3 days, I think it is safe to say that this boycott, or whatever the hell you want to call it, it has had an effect of some kind, and the people trying to convince you otherwise seem desperate to marginalize those of us who are sick of games like this being made. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you make of this Ghost of Yote sale going on in the UK? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.